there, it's Lizard from Isurus, and today we're going to take a look at an overdrive pedal by Danelectro. They did this range called the Wasabi range. They had, I think, maybe 5 pedals that had overdrive, distortion, some modulation, a delay, I think. But they've got a few kind of quirky, unique features, really. I think all of them are kind of dual foot switch ones. They have like 2 different, sort of either 2 different effects or variants or an extra function. It's a bit odd for an overdrive in a few ways. Like, first of all, you have the normal stuff. You have a tone, a level and a drive. And then you have this EQ select, which isn't a pot, it's a 5-way switch. So it's set EQ curves. So there's sort of a few different EQ curve shapes, basically, and then you've still got the tone control as well with that, or you can turn that off, the EQ curves. And then you have a kind of blend control, essentially a mix control, so you can go from fully direct, the dry clean signal, to fully wet, which is the overdrive. So that's quite cool in an overdrive pedal, because you can bring back a little bit of the clean signal and kind of add some extra sort of clarity to it. What they also have as well, hopefully you can see this on the back, this is really strange, there's a pickup selector. So it's supposed to balance the level between single coils and humbuckers. So for a single coil it'll boost the input a little, for a humbucker it'll cut it a little. And you can also leave that off as well. And then this pedal has 2 functions, the overdrive, so you get a light on this side, and a boost, and they can be used independently or together. And for the boost you've got an option between 5 dB and 10 dB for the amount of boost. So just give you my clean tone quickly. Straight up, just clean, there's no reverb or anything on at the moment. So what I've got here is, I'm going to have it fully wet, so we're just going to hear the overdrive, and I've got the EQ off and everything central, so we'll just get kind of the mid-range of the overdrive. So we'll just mess around quickly with using it as a standard kind of drive, just the normal drive level and tone controls. So pretty good overdrive, really, like nothing spectacular or out of the ordinary, but yeah, it's pretty capable overdrive. So then let's try using a few of these EQ curves. They're quite drastic. So I'm going to set the drive and tone fairly central, and then we'll just go through the 5 different switches positions. So that's it off. This is just using it as a standard overdrive. And then the first EQ. And then obviously within any of these EQs you can change the amount of drive and you can adjust the tone as well, so you can kind of alter it. So that was it with a little bit of delay and reverb and stuff, but as you can see it's interesting. I don't really quite know what to make of it, because it's like you have these sort of, I guess it's four, you have a flat EQ and then these 4 EQ preset curves, but then you've still got the use of the tone control to kind of give it a little bit of adjustment. It's an interesting idea. I don't think I've really seen it that often on pedals, but it gives you quite a few different options. So the other part of the pedal is the boost side, which is just straight up volume boost. So you can use it from your clean sound. So that's the 10 dB, and then on the back here, we can switch to 5 dB, so it'll be less of a drastic jump. So you can use that as kind of like a solo boost, and you can use it to kick the overdrive harder as well. So let's just set these fairly central. So we've got the overdrive on, and then I can hit that boost and give it a little bit more kick. So that's pretty useful. There's quite a few pedals, especially overdrives and distortions, that have like an inbuilt boost, but it's quite cool having them as independent, so you've effectively got kind of 2 pedals in one. So the last thing about this, I'm just going to ignore the single coil and humbucker things. I don't think it's a good idea. What is this way you can blend your dry signal? So we've got the overdrive on now, but I've set it completely to the direct, so we'll just have a clean signal. So that's just like having the overdrive pedal off. And then as I wind this up, you'll hear more of the overdrive coming in. There, and that's the fully affected signal. But this is kind of useful because if you kind of find a blend amount that you like, you can add some extra sort of clarity, sort of especially with sort of arpeggiated or picking stuff. Which is cool. It's kind of something I often do sort of while recording anyway, is sort of have two guitars playing the same thing, like clean and distorted, and then you can kind of blend them together and get a good balance of the kind of saturated sound and the just sort of more isolated sound of the clean signal. Setting like that with kind of not a lot of gain and sort of just, let's maybe take that to about halfway, then we've kind of got sort of a really interesting kind of very, very mild overdrive really, and you've still got your direct signal kind of going through. So I think that's really nice. It's kind of, it gives you a lot of options really. There's that, you see, it's mostly the clean signal, but you've got that little bit of dirt underneath it, and it's a really clear, kind of very biting, punchy kind of sound. Whereas if it was fully the overdrive, it's kind of lost a lot of dynamics in a way, because distortion by its very nature is really, really compressed. So when you're leaving in a lot of that clean signal, you get this kind of really attacky, kind of transient sound. So I think that's quite cool, and it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife of overdrive pedals. Really, you've got so many little options on there. But yeah, I was quite impressed with it, to be honest. As just a straight up overdrive, it does a good job, and then it's got these kind of extra features, especially that blend control, being able to use it in parallel with your dry signal. That's a really, really, really cool feature. Very useful. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed looking at this Wasabi Overdrive. I've also got the Wasabi Distortion, which I'm going to be reviewing at some point, or demoing at some point. So subscribe and stay around for lots more demos of gear and all sorts of stuff.